All right, so this is the few years right after I got out of the military. I got out. I think my cousin died. My best buddy died. So all that happened right after I got out. I had gone into car sales. Um, I set a record for this company, for a rookie. And the reason I mention that is I just want to say, everywhere I went, I was in a leadership position or, broke records or, somehow I excelled. You know what I mean? Every job I had. Um, Again, just establishing a pattern. Uh, Joined MLM company, a multi-level marketing company, did that for a while. I know at least a year. And then I went in, didn't make any money, and then went into security. I was working for, what was that, Securitas? But anyways, I was working at Gannett USA Today building in Tyson's Corner. I was outside guard check. And the reason I mention that is because that is how I started my first business. I had come to find out, because I've read by this time thousands of books in my life, thousands as a child, as a young child and teenager. Uh, but I mentioned this because I had started my book business. I was working at Gannett USA Today, which is the publishing company. There's only, anyways. So they do book reviews, book edits. What they do is they had like 50 editors there or whatever it was, or reviewers. And so these reviewers would get the pre-copies of the book and then set the book on these shelves. So I would go in there with book bags and clear out the shelves. And that's how I started my business back in the early 2000s, when Amazon and Abe Books and all that first started. So I was right at the beginning of all that. So the first year, I was doing that with the security hand in hand until I built up my business. I took probably about 3,000 books out of that place, out of book bags. And I was security and with, 50 other security there. And, I got questioned a couple times like, man, what are you up to? But nobody ever put it together. And then one day, after a few months after building my business up and my money, I was making more money I think I was making like twice as much money a week in my book business as I was security. And just didn't come into work the next day. And anyways, ran my business. So my business, the first 3 years, I made over 100 grand. It was all startup, all my money, my ingenuity, my cash. Again, just establishing, these weird things about me, that I just excelled in and was good at, just naturally good at. And I'm trying to establish a pattern for myself because I've never allowed myself. I've told these stories, here and there, but I've never gotten everything out. And now, as I'm allowing myself to realize my, accomplishments as well as my downfalls, I'm able to get a clearer picture of what's going on. So yeah, very successful business. And, I was working 80 hours a week or more, probably closer to 120 hours a week. And at the time, I think my son had to have been young. Yeah, he was like 4 or 5. So, I was taking care of him because my wife was working. So he was coming with me to it was a weird time, man. It was, again, busy. And then again, establishing just the busy non-stop. I mean, busy, because then at the same time, my daughter was born. So, what I realized through all this, and then, right after my daughter was born, what was it? Did I leave the next year? Shit. I can never remember this. No, I left that year. No, it had been the following year. Yeah, because her mom had severe postpartum depression. And, anyways, I ended up, so I realized in that whole scenario, the reason I bound these years together is because I was in my early 20s, early to mid 20s. I think probably 21 to 26, 27 here. And in that time, it was all about the grind to get money, made myself very extremely successful, but in that same time lost my marriage, and then that leads into the next fucking wonderful phase. And again, I mean, so many things to pack into this time period. I am literally just trying to do what I have to do to clear up fog. Because going into all of the details and all the crazy shit and all the stuff that happened daily is just impossible. I mean, I guess it can happen, but the amount of I mean, I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Like, if I can get an overview picture of, okay, here's the patterns I need to see, if there's anything, what I'm feeling like. Okay, so I'm intuiting this healing. This is what I'm feeling like and intuiting as far as that goes is I'm giving my overview. I'm recognizing things, I'm not going to all the nitty gritty details and crazy, crazy stuff because this is all after effects. Okay, this is all after effects of after being set on a terrible program. That's how I'm viewing all this, and that's and I might from my therapy come back and do a public breakdown and further, and who knows how this is going to go. All I'm saying is I don't want to go any deeper into any of this if I don't have to, because I'm realizing the patterns. I'm seeing this. I don't want to relive every scary, crazy, fucked up, pleasure-seeking, whatever. You know what I mean? This is because I know how crazy it was, and that's not what I'm trying to do, and that's not what I want to do. I just want to heal. I do not want to get stuck in a fucking forever loop, reliving shit that was a result of what I really need to get down to. So that's where my mind is with the healing. And again, I am allowing myself to change my mind, to change my views, to change accordingly, to be able to, continue to heal and balance things out and keep it a progressive healing instead of finding, a pill or a modality that'll make me feel good about myself and I can just stop and jump back on the hamster wheel. That's not what I want to do. This time period also, it's just fucked up how young. I mean, by this time I had already done 3 years in the military, had international incidents, had more fights under my belt than professional fighters, more crazy, fucked up bullshit happened in my life than a lot of people happen in a whole lifetime. And I'm not even 21. And then between 21 and 27 is just, I mean, I fit like a whole novel in there. Novels. That's how I feel, guys. That's how overwhelming this is for me. This is not bragging. This is not boasting. This is not ego. This is, this isn't narcissism. This isn't ADHD. This is something, this is what this is. And I'll show you the paper I'm looking at, just so you guys can see. In the top of that is the top of that paper right there is my military. The bottom of that is the years I'm going over now. So, and what's happening is I'm like, because it's like so much. It's like too much. It's just, that's how much it is. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to go back and worry and think and process every fucking moment. Because I had a different life than a lot of people, I rarely rarely in my life have had days where, just until recently, you know, obviously until the older I got, but up until my first TBI, known TBI, God, I had so many of them. My first admitted TBI that put my dick in the dirt and made me have to go live with my brother and get rid of I lost all worldly possessions in my mid 30s. Up until that time, none of this was, it was go, 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 go. There was never a day where I just chilled by myself ever and just chilled. I mean, I just led a different life, and I'm saying this because it's overwhelming when I connect my healing with having to relive every fucking day of years and years and years of, and knowing that it was just a reaction and a natural, and it's just a script. It's just a script that was obviously going to play out, you know, based upon the programming that was put in place as a child. And I'm not making excuses for me. What I'm saying is that so looking at those things, it's obvious what I'm going to find. That to me would be like these cocksuckers, you know, on YouTube and all these places acting like they're gurus and preachers, and they're the middleman between salvation and people, you know. It's like, no, let's get to the root of this motherfucker, and let's figure out why this programming got in place, where it came from, why, you know. That's what I want. I mean, to relive this shit is just, I mean, I could write a book on business. I could get done and write a book on business. I could write books on business. I could write books on motivation. I could write books on car sales. I could write books on how not to get into a multi-level marketing business. I could write books on how to work at one job. I mean, I could write books, guys. I got so much knowledge, so much shit in my head. And that's what I'm saying. It's all distraction, you know? That's the other thing. My own past is a distraction. This is all distraction, you know. And the only reason, so I'm talking through this. You're just hearing me talk through and work this out, you know, as I'm processing it, because it's completely overwhelming. There's no fucking way I'm going back and living day. I mean, some days, dude, I would have life-changing experiences 4 times in one day, over and over, even recently. I mean, that's how crazy that's what I'm saying. It's just too much. It's overwhelming to even think that I would have to go back and relive every moment of this to heal my trauma. That's not true. Not true for me, anyways. Not true for me, and not true for people. Dude, if you're someone like me, we're different, dude. Don't listen to these fuckers that tell you gotta fucking... No, man, I don't think that's true. You got to fucking heal yourself, because I can't fucking deal with that shit. There's no fucking way. What I'm trying to establish is patterns and see patterns of behavior, patterns of everything. That's what I'm doing. I'm not, I can't rehash all this right now. Too much. But yeah, there's another big chunk of years, and then, so where does that put me? You know, I mean, that's skipping over so much shit. And again, like what I want to do is like pick out like maybe things like what it'll do is maybe prick things in my soul and go, okay, well, now, you know, this was something that needs to be talked about, worked through, and processed thoroughly, you know. But no, to sit there and rehash just years of abuse put upon me and me putting abuse upon others is just not even, doesn't even make sense. And that's where I'm at with it right now. And also, you know, and it just allowed me, so my life, and the other thing I'm trying to establish here is it allowed me to see from an early age how religious systems were manipulating, how, you know, us as kids, we were looking up to all these adults, but they were all manipulating and lying and playing games with us. And then you go into the military, you realize, oh shit, they're making us vote Republican because they support the military, and it's all a game. So you realize they're all playing games, they're all got, and then you go and have an international incident, you realize, well, that's all games. Even being over in other countries is just a huge fucking game. And then you come back and you realize you're selling brand new cars to people, and you got to bullshit them out of their fucking pocket money. And then you go into a multi-level marketing company and you realize, and they pump up these MLMs as freedom, freedom from, the 9 to 5 and financial freedom and all that. But really, you're just in it again to sell people and bullshit. So it's just, man, it's just one distraction. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just constantly putting your faith in others, And for people like me who were abused as a young child, for somebody who wasn't abused as a child, this might, you might be like, man, dude, you need to get off of it. It might seem like I am hung up. I am hung up. I've been hung up. I'm trying to unhang myself. You know what I'm saying? So if you've never experienced this before, then this must seem fucking, I don't know. But if you've had trauma then you should be able to see it in me. I would imagine the confusion, the fucking utter, like, what the fuck, like, goddamn. I mean, I'll take respect. I got away with so much shit in my life that I should be in jail, prison, whatever for. I got millions of people do. We do all the time, dude. There's hundreds of thousands of laws on the books. You're breaking the law. You can't even go outside. You can't even fuck in your house with the window open. I mean, you can't do nothing without breaking the law. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we're all criminals. But, if you think I'm just hung up and feeling sorry for myself, I'm not. I'm just trying to work my way through a fucking life of smut, It's like trying to get through the mire, the muck, the mud. Oh, God. It's like, how did I get here again? Ugh. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Just even looking at it on paper. And, I mean, it made me so sick. I couldn't even detail this stuff more on paper than what it is, because it just made me sick thinking about it all by myself. I had to do the video, you know what I mean? Because I had to just stop thinking in my own head about it, because it's just so nasty. There's just so much involved, and it's all a part of this matrix. Your loving God, your loving universe that you live in. That's such a loving universe. You know what I mean? There's your loving universe at work in my head, but I did it all to myself. So, yeah, so it's a fucking battle, guys. It's a battle, but it's not, it's a battle when I make it a battle. And it's just a battle right now in my head, because I just, you just want an enemy, you want an enemy to fucking punch in the face, you know what I mean? And there's nobody, there's nothing. Now I'm sitting here in a room all by myself. Oh, by the way, looking at an upside down picture, in case you guys were wondering, my son, now he wanted that, and he used to sleep here, and it's upside down because when he slept there, it would look right side up down. So, but anyways, man, yeah. So that's where I'm at. Another chunk of years. It's probably like 2:00 now, maybe 3. I'm still in my room. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of relaxing I got to do. Tomorrow, it's gonna be nothing on here probably, and just straight up, probably breathing techniques, sound baths, relaxing. I got to get ready for work on Monday. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just doing what I got to do to survive. Just survive physically in this fucking world, man. It's fucking crazy, man. It really is. It's nuts. But there it is.